There are hundreds of varieties of papaya. Today we will be talking all about the broadleaf papaya. Welcome to episode 5 of my rare fruit series. If you're wondering what the broadleaf papaya tastes like or how to grow it or what to do with it, this video is for you because today we are going to go over the look, taste, and what to do with the broadleaf papaya, different ways to use it, and how to grow. This is my favorite papaya that we grow in our yard here with our edible landscape in the suburbs. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Jess. I'm a physician assistant, registered dietitian, and mother of 3 that is passionate about growing my own food to optimize me and my family's health. Our goal is to grow enough food to eventually replace the grocery store with our edible landscape in our yard. If you are interested in that sort of thing, please make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out. We have a lot of big projects coming up and we're always adding on. I'm here to show you that you can grow lots of food in a small space. All right, let's get into this. I'm sitting in front of the broadleaf papaya tree that we put in years ago, and this one fell off the tree a couple days ago, so I thought it'd be a good time to share what it tastes like with you guys. This is a Thai heirloom variety. Has a long oval shape. It varies in size. It's about 1/2 pound to 5 pounds. This is definitely on the smaller end. You can see there's a lot back here that are a lot bigger. So it's kind of interesting that they vary in size so much. But yes, this is a really tiny one that is ripe. The flesh on the inside is orange. It's very sweet and aromatic and it has a firm flesh texture. Let's cut into it so I can show you what it tastes like. All right, let's cut into this. So you can tell this is ripe because you can feel that it's soft on the outside. And here is what the inside looks like. You can tell there's actually no papaya seeds, and some of our fruit is like that. Some have seeds and some don't. Let me try a piece for you. I like to use a grapefruit spoon. You can see how juicy that is. So this has a typical papaya flavor, but it also has this really sweet floral notes to it. And it's known for being extraordinarily sweet for a papaya. And also it's known for not having that bitter aftertaste that some papayas have. These are really delicious. Some of the best papayas I've had. Also, the juice coming out, it just tastes like candy. Really good. There's a nice aromatic scent, and it's also very refreshing, especially if you put the papaya in the fridge before you eat it. It's nice and cold. Really good. All right, so what do you do with these papayas? Number one, obviously you can just eat it out of hand. It's really good like that. Or you could put it in salads. One of my favorite ways to eat this as a breakfast is I'll cut it like this, so it's a papaya boat. I'll put in some, like a dollop of cottage cheese. I'll get the Trader Joe's chili crisp, put a little bit on top, and I'll get lime or lemon and squeeze the juice over it and eat it like that. A lot of people, when we went to Hawaii, they typically would cut the papaya in half like this. It was mostly the solo papayas that we were eating there, and they would just squeeze lime juice on top. And if you haven't done that before with papayas, it's really good. So just try, if you don't like papayas, just try it with the lime on it, and I think that may change your mind. Since we have a lot of papaya growing year-round here, one of my favorite things I like to do with papaya is make a papaya salsa. So I'll typically add papaya, lime, garlic cloves, cilantro, red onion, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and jalapenos, and mix it all up, and it's very tasty. We also make papaya cleansing bars, And if you don't know, I have a business where I make handcrafted lotions and lip balms and deodorants and soaps. But I will say the papaya cleansing bars, our soap, would sell out pretty fast because we don't have a huge supply of it, and we actually use that for our family as well. So at this point, we don't have a lot of that going on, but you could always make sure to check the website. If we do add on the soaps again, those sell out really fast. So just make sure that you keep an eye on that, and I'll send out an email. Make sure to get on the list. I'll send out an email before I put those out. But check out our other products if you'd like to support Sweet Poppy Homestead, and I'll leave that link below. One reason to use papaya in your soap is it's rich in beta carotenes, which it's healthy for your body, but that's also healthy for your skin, and it can help give it a nice brightening or glow. Papaya also has some antibacterial properties, making it helpful to put in your soap. When we have too much papaya that we do not know what to do with, we will either give it to our chickens, or we will cut it up and freeze it and add it to our smoothies. It's really good in smoothies as well. I've also used this to make popsicles, which is quite tasty. The kids seem to like it a lot. And you could make a sorbet out of it. I haven't tried that yet, but that's on the list. This can also be used as a meat tenderizer. So these papayas, when they are green, they have an enzyme called papain, and that's what is used to break down meat and make it more tender. Also, the papayas that have seeds, you can actually eat the seeds as well. They have a peppery taste, and you can grind it up into like a vinaigrette, and it's really tasty. All right, so let's go back into the yard, and I want to show you our broadleaf papaya tree and go over how to grow and really cool things about it. All right, let's go past all these ice cream bananas and find the broadleaf papayas. So broadleaf papayas thrive in really warm environments, well-draining fertile soil, and wind protection is helpful as well. One of the cool things about broadleaf papaya is it is a dwarf variety. So it only gets to be about 4 to 8 feet tall, and you can get fruit within a year. So it's a quick growing fruit. It grows well in zones 9B through 11. And one of the cool things about it is once it starts growing, it gets these offshoots. So you can see here, here's the bottom of the plant, the tree. And let me show you the top here. You can see, so there's some broadleaf papayas growing, but also it has 2 offshoots. It's almost like it has new trees growing from the base. So there's this one, and so there's some papayas growing here. This is the same tree, and there's a new, right over here by the lemongrass, there's a new shoot growing that has some little flowers starting, but no fruit quite yet. Another really awesome thing that I like about the broadleaf papayas is it's evergreen all year round, and also with papayas you'll get 1 to 3 papayas that are ripe and at a time, and so you have a consistent supply of papayas all year round. The broadleaf papaya is known for its large broad leaves, where it gets its name. It's also known for having exceptionally sweet fruit and is highly productive. This is also a small dwarf variety of papaya, so that means it would be great for container growing as well. Now that you know all about broadleaf papayas, I'll leave a link here for some of my other rare varieties that we're growing with my rare fruit series, so you can check that out. Please make sure to let me know what papayas you are growing, because I'd love to add on more papayas here. If you like this content, please make sure to like, follow, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Happy gardening, everyone.